Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how I use double-sided adhesive sheets to create stickers. This comes in handy when you have dies that are very detailed, and the reason it comes in handy is because when you cut out a detailed die, let's see if we can, the image is, or the cut is very thin in a lot of different places, so it's hard to get glue on the whole cut to adhere it down to your project. So what I do is I use these sheets that you can get if you are shopping at scrapbooks.com. They have different sizes of the double-sided adhesive sheets, and it is a scrapbooks.com branded item. And if you happen to shop at the Made It store, you can get the Elizabeth Craft version of these sheets. Because I'm using a die that will fit on one of these, I'm going to use this today, but the technique is the same regardless of what kind of double-sided adhesive sheet that you use. And I'm going to do a couple things here. I'm going to use some Brutus Monroe cardstock today. This is Raven Black. And I want to make sure that both of these will fit on one of these sheets and on this piece of paper. So I'm going to go ahead and dig one of these out. Go ahead and lift one side of this adhesive. So it's got backings on both sides. Backing on both sides? One of those. Okay, y'all don't want to know how long that really took me. I'm definitely going to edit that. But as soon as I grabbed my tweezers, it was seamless. So I'm going to put this down on this cardstock, and I am going to adhere it down the best I can. So if you have your bone folder handy or some other sort of scoring burnishing tool, this is a good time to use it. Because we really want it to adhere. So there's that. And now I'm going to go ahead and lay down my dies. So I have the double-sided adhesive on the back. Flip it over. Zoom in. Get out your tape of choice. Today I'm going to use this mint tape because I have it handy. And I am going to tape this down. Now, you don't necessarily need to use the tape. I've gotten used to using tape just to give myself just a little bit more confidence that things aren't going to jiggle around too much when I'm making my sandwich. You might see that I taped this one down, but it was a little further than you can see where the end of that adhesive is right here, so I'm going to move it over a little bit more. That seems great. Now I'm going to make my sandwich. So I won't really go through the sandwich with you since everyone's machine is a little different. I use a Gemini. For my Gemini, I use a self-adhesive. I use a self-healing mat. Then my magnetic sheet. Let's see, I always get this confused. So I'm going to put this down because I want the grooves that are going into the paper to be facing down into my self-healing mat. And I'm going to put them in the middle. Go ahead and lay this guy down. And so because I use this magnetic sheet, I also use the tape so that the magnetic sheet doesn't move the dies around on the cardstock. And then my general sandwich is the clear plastic one. That's not clear. The opaque plastic one. This tiny bit of, it's not even cardstock. I'm not sure what it is. It might be just thick brown paper, and then a clear one. So I'm going to go ahead and run this through my Gemini, and I'll be right back. I use a self-healing mat. Then my magnetic sheet. Let's see, I always get this confused. So I'm going to put this down because I want the grooves that are going into the paper to be facing down into my self-healing mat. And I'm going to put them in the middle. Go ahead and lay this guy down. And so because I use this magnetic sheet, I also use the tape so that the magnetic sheet doesn't move the dies around on the cardstock. And then my general sandwich is the clear plastic one. That's not clear. The opaque plastic one. This tiny bit of, it's not even cardstock. I'm not sure what it is. It might be just thick brown paper, and then a clear one. So I'm going to go ahead and run this through my Gemini, and I'll be right back. Alright, gonna unsandwich my sandwich, and hopefully it worked. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and take the tape off. A lot of times the die will just come off with it. And you can see from the back side that it did cut through the adhesive, and that's what we're looking for. Oh, this one also started coming out. So here we have the die cut. And so this does take a little bit of finesse. The adhesive on these sheets is pretty strong, so it doesn't just pop out, which is good. But after you work it out, you'll notice that the entire back of your die cut is covered in that adhesive, and you can adhere it right down to your project. Let's see here. So I have got a little bit of weeding to do out of the little loops and the L's and the O's, but otherwise it turned out perfectly. I am going to get that weeding done and attach it to a project so that you can see what the final result is like. Hang on. All right, so I went ahead and weeded out the die cut, and so here's the die and here's the paper with the sticky double-sided adhesive on the back. And now I went ahead and pulled it out, and the entire die is covered in adhesive without having to fuss with your glue bottle or brush or anything like that. Of course, this technique works on more than just sentiment dies. Any kind of die that you have that has some detail in it that's hard to glue down, you can use this technique for, or even just regular shapes. If you want to do frames, it makes frames really easy, and it makes it easy to kind of layer a lot of things without getting the bubbles or the warping from wet glue. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, safety first.